ready to get married. I'm tired. I want to find my wife, have some kids.
First woman commented and said, they always ready and full of insight when it's the end of the fourth quarter.
Cap.
Another woman commented and said, call Vivica A. Fox. She ready.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
An older man who's ready to settle down and get married is different than an older woman who's ready to settle down and get married. There are different factors that play a part in that. Number one being what's going on, everyone? This is your man, Brandon Gio, one half of Residual Impact. And yo, check it. I've been seeing this video make its rounds and, I decided to do a reaction to it. But one thing I will say is that I'm willing to bet that none of the other creators who have reacted to the specific video clip have received a blessing from David Banner himself to speak on this topic. Now, granted, you don't need one. This is content for anybody to react to. However, when I first saw this video clip, I just remember saying, man, the next time I see him, which, by the way, if you guys know me in real life, many of you know what I do for a living. Many of you know where I work. But for those of you guys who do not know, I'm in Atlanta. I work in Atlanta. I see celebrities often. And I've had conversations with David Banner in the past. I've seen this brother a few times recently and had different conversations with him. And after I saw this clip making its rounds on social media, I was like, yo, I have to react to this video. I have to talk about it. And I said, listen, I would like to try to get David Banner's thoughts. Like, the next time I see him, I got to get his thoughts on this video. I kid you not. I saw David Banner the very next day at my job. The very next day, had a full conversation with him. Got to hear his thoughts. And although I do not remember them verbatim, I'm not going to share the thoughts, but I will say that they're similar to what it is that I'm about to say. But for those of you guys who haven't even seen this clip, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. Check this out.
Ready to get married. I'm tired. I want to find my wife, have some kids. Like, we chase all of these esoteric goals, and sometimes we look back and we left the things that really matter. I looked up one day, I had all of the music accolades, the film accolades, not all the ones that I want, but a lot of them, I had accomplished my goal. I had chased my goal so long that when I looked up, I saw that I ran off and left everything else. So we forget to be human beings, and people don't allow us to be human beings.
Now, first things first, before I get into my thoughts on this entire video, I want to go ahead and check out some of these comments. Because again, like I said, David Banner himself had some of the same sentiments that I'm about to share with you guys. But let's check out the comments first, and then we'll get into it. First comment I see here right off the rip, it says, they always ready and full of insight when it's the end of the fourth quarter. 590 likes. Another woman commented and said, somebody said old and ran through. Another woman commented and said, call Vivica A. Fox. She ready. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've actually met Vivica Fox too. And I was not going to say anything to her regarding the video that she went viral for months ago.
How's it going?
I'm wanting to, Dave.
Yeah.
It's limited resources out there, right?
Yes.
Because I'm not getting on an app.
Why? You're just not into
I'm old fashioned. I'm like, I need to meet you and sparks happen and stuff like that. Because I just believe people make up stories saying who and what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
And
what are you looking for at this stage, this point?
A partner.
Yeah.
And when I say a partner, I want someone that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That's not intimidated by who and what I am.
Yeah.
That likes to travel.
Yeah.
Going to let me go shopping.
Yeah.
But to that, I will say, men and women are completely different. We are not the same. So David Banner being 50 years old and being ready to settle down and get married is completely different than Vivica A. Fox being ready to settle down and being 60 plus and getting married. Well, I'll get into that in a little bit, but let's continue with the comments. Another woman commented and said, those ED years hit differently. He's ready now. Another woman said, he all used up. Now he wants to have kids and a wife. Somebody else commented and said, let me get this correct. He tired now, but is planning to raise kids? His new wife will be thrilled with that idea. Somebody else commented and said, when he said, I'm tired, after he said, I'm ready to get married, I stopped listening. Okay. Another woman commented and said, but do you want to be a husband/dad? These men be wanting wives, but don't want to be husbands. I see what she's trying to say, but I don't think that's the case with David. And the comments just kept getting wilder and wilder. But I'm going to focus on a couple of positive comments from women. One of which says, let the man be. Who cares? Same as a career-driven woman. He can now have desires of partnership and build. I feel it. And although I almost agree with what it is that she said, again, an older man who's ready to settle down and get married is different than an older woman who's ready to settle down and get married. There are different factors that play a part in that. Number one being, for the most part, women look for financial security in a man.
So for the women who want to stay home and raise their kids, they want a man who has financial security so she can fulfill that traditional role. And even the women who don't want to stay home and want to go back to work, they also want to be with a man who's financially secure so they're not doing all the work. So they're not having to make all the money and come home and take care of the family and then resent you for not contributing equally, both financially and domestically. If you want to marry a woman and have children with her, then you have no other choice than to be financially secure.
I know some girls didn't grow up with their dad. I grew up with my dad. What do I see in him? Security, financial stability, support. Do I look for that in a guy? 100%.
Is that ideal for every woman though?
I feel like it would be ideal for a smart woman.
She wants financial security. Why? Because she took your last name. Because she married you, took your last name, so you can do better for her than her father did. That's why she carries your last name.
David Banner is David Banner. He's an established rapper, actor, producer. The man has money, and I can guarantee you he can still pull women.
When I tell you this man is so fine, when I tell you this man is scrump-dilly-icious, he make me want to, oh God.
Look at Method Man. Women to this day still drool over Method Man. Method Man, I think, is older than David Banner, and women still love him. And on another side of the spectrum, you have somebody like George Clooney, who's been rated the sexiest man alive. I don't even know how many times I can count. But there's so many women who are still attracted to him. And he's in his 60s. So yeah, I will say that, when it comes to older men versus older women, of course, a career-driven woman, as this commenter posted, men don't look for financial security within a woman. So if you have a woman who's career-driven and she reaches a certain age, 40, 50, 60, chances are, her options might not be as vast as they once were when she was in her 20s or 30s. And I'm not saying that's the case for all women, because Lord knows, if Angela Bassett was single. So yeah, there is a difference between a career-driven man who waits till he's in his 40s and 50s maybe to have children. Shoot, look at somebody like Robert De Niro, who recently had a baby in his 80s. Now, granted, I don't want to speak ill on anybody, but chances are he might not really be able to raise that child into adulthood. We'll see. But, men typically are still capable of having children when we're older. We don't really stop producing our seed. So there's a difference. But I've already spent too much time on that topic. I want to read this last comment here before I give any further thoughts. The last comment comes from a woman who said, y'all crazy. David Banner been fine for a minute. Hospice or not, he's still young enough. Again, like I said before, when I ran into David Banner and had this conversation with him, several women that day said that he was still attractive. I'm not even going to say what one of my female coworkers said, but let's just say it was something involving relations. I'll put it that way. That's the PG version of it. But yeah, women still definitely find him attractive. Younger women, older women, I'm sure. But definitely, David just turned 50 months ago. he could easily get him somebody who's 35, 36, early 30s even, maybe late 20s. Now, me personally, I wouldn't advise him to go the late 20s route. I would say, brother, stick to somebody in their 30s. If you want to find a woman who's pretty established or close to your level, hey, David, if you watching this, man, I told you I would send you the video when I'm done with it, but you don't necessarily have to take my advice. You're a grown man. You can do whatever it is that you want. But I think you'd probably be better off. Of course, if you want children, if you want to find a wife and you want children, I think you'd be better off with a woman in her 30s. She can still give you kids, brother, and y'all are not too far from age, if that is something that is a thing for you. All right. But that's just my advice. And I will say that, what I've mentioned before to everybody else who's watching this video, he shared some of the same sentiments that I'm pretty much saying in this video, with a few other sentiments that I'll probably have him talk about if I can get him on the show, which I think that I can. Again, David, if you're watching this, man, let's make something happen. I run a podcast, me and my co-host Mike. We would love to talk to you. Brother, you and I have conversations often whenever I see you at my job, man. So, hey, whatever it takes, let me know. Let's chop it up, and you can give your thoughts. You can provide your feedback on what it is that you said in this interview and what it is that some of these women said in the comment section, and we could talk about it. And that way I don't have to worry about misquoting you. You know what I'm saying? It'll definitely come from you personally. So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank each and every single one of you for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. And if you have made it this far and you haven't done so already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Don't forget to click that notification bell so you never miss when we upload a new video for you. Also, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It goes a long way and it's completely free. Just takes about a second of your time. It helps out the channel a lot. We greatly appreciate it because chances are if you like the video, somebody else is going to like it too. It's going to push it through the algorithm and it's going to end up with somebody who might need to hear the message that we have behind these videos. All right. Thank you guys again for watching. I greatly appreciate it. We here at Residual Impact greatly appreciate it. And I cannot leave without saying where you are today is a residual outcome of the thoughts you had in the past. Till next time, peace.